SLTV එකතු වෙමු වෙනස් වෙමු අලුත් වෙමු.
ආයුබෝවන්. අද සුවිශේෂී කෙනෙක්ව ඔබ මුණ ගැහෙන්න මම එක්කන් එන්න කියලා හිතුවා. විශේෂයෙන්ම මේ නම එහෙම නැත්නම් මේ පුද්ගලයා අලුත් නෙමෙයි. ලංකාවට තරන්නේ නෙමෙයි ලෝකෙටම. ලෝකෙත් එක රටකට දෙකකට නෙමෙයි රටවල් 100කට වැඩිය. ශ්‍රී ලංකා වාසී ඔබ හැමදිනාටම ලංකාවෙන් එපිට සිට මේ වැඩසටහන බලන හැමදිනාටම මේ සාර්ථක වෙච්ච ජීවිත සහ ව්‍යාපාරවල තියෙන සාර්ථකත්වයේ රහස හොයා දෙන එක තමයි මගේ යුතුයකම සහ වගකීම කියලා මම හිතාගත්තා. ඩිල්මා තේ ගැන දන්නවා නම් දෙවනි පරම්පරාවේ ප්‍රධාන පුරුකත් එක්ක තමයි අද අපි කතා කරන්නේ. ඔහුට හුඟක් කතා කිරීමේ පහසුව තියෙන ඉංග්‍රීසි භාෂාවෙන් නිසා මම සිංහල ඔබව නියෝජනය කරමින් මම සිංහලෙන් ප්‍රශ්න අහනවා. ඉංග්‍රීසි භාෂාවෙන් ඔහු උත්තර දෙනවා. කියවීමේ පහසුකම් තියෙන නිසා අපිට හැම දිනාටම දැන් තිරයේ දක්වන්නම් ඒ කියන දේ පරිවර්තනය. එහෙම නැත්නම් ආසන්න අදහස. ඒක නිසා අවසරයි ආරම්භ කරන්න හඳුන්වා දෙන්න. ඩිල්හාන් සී ෆර්නෑන්ඩෝ අයබෝවන්.
It's the same question that some people ask me, why don't you have Dilmah coffee? Why don't you have Dilmah cola? Why don't you have this? No, we know tea. We love tea. That is all we are going to do. The minute we go into another area, deviate into an area that we don't know, that is the beginning of the end. Because we don't know how do I stand up in front of a customer and say this is the best in the world? He'll say, look, you don't know because what is it, how you have just bought this product from somebody else. So for us, what is important is to be sincere. And all the politicians in this country understand that we are sincere. We share our profits with the less fortunate. We are building hospitals and schools and all of this from our profit. We don't have to do this anywhere. But we do this. We have 82 schools we have built. We have hospitals. We have 13 centers for children with disability, with many different projects plus environmental projects. So whatever we do, we must do to support the government because our objective is Sri Lanka. And for us, whether it's one government or another, we are focusing on Sri Lanka. So whoever is in power is elected by the people, we will support. For exports, we will share, because when we share our knowledge with the EDB, for example, we are not supporting a government or we are not getting involved in politics. We are trying to help an entrepreneur. This is what our interest. And ultimately, when you have more and more entrepreneurs, you will have economic development. Sri Lanka today should have 10 Dilmas. One is not enough. We should have 10 brands like Dilmah, Sri Lankan Airlines. There are so many opportunities. Cinnamon, we should be the best in the world. We are the best in the world, but you need a brand to give it identity. Same for cashew, look at cardamom from Sri Lanka. Antioxidant rich, taste unbelievable. But we need an entrepreneur to take that. The opportunity is waiting. Take it and commercialize it. Then you will benefit Sri Lanka.
මගේ ඊළඟ ප්‍රශ්න ඔක්කොටම උත්තර දුන්නා. මගේ ඊළඟ ප්‍රශ්නය මම වෙන පැත්තකට හරවන්න යන්නේ ඔබේ පියා කියපු දෙයකදී. විශේෂයෙන්ම ඔහුගේ ජීවිත කතාව අධ්‍යයනය කරද්දී ඔහුගේ මව, පියාගේ මව ඔබ තේවතු හිමියෙක්ගේ පුතෙක් වෙන්නේ පස්සේ කාලෙක. ඔහු දැවැන්ත තේවතු ව්‍යාපාරයකින් ආපු කෙනෙක් නෙවෙයි. පල්ලන්සේන ගමෙන් ඇවිල්ලා ඔහුගේ මව නිතරම දෙන්න කියලා කියනවා. දෙවියන් වෙනුවෙන් දෙන්න කියන එක. එතකොට හරිය ආගම භක්තියකින් හැදෙන දෙවියන් විශ්වාස කරන දෙයක්. ඔහුගේ සාකච්ඡාවක දැන් අම්මා මේ ළමයින්ට කියනවා ඒ උනාට ඒගොල්ලන්ට උනත් තාම හරියට ඒක තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ කියලා ඒ කාලේ කියලා තියෙනවා. මොකද්ද මේ දෙන්න හදන එකේ තේරුම? එහෙම නැත්නම් මොකද මේ වෙන වෙන අයට උදව් කරන්නේ? සමහරු ටැක්ස් වලට බයේ උදව් කරනවා. සමහරු එලියට පේන්න ඒක හරහා ප්‍රචාරයක් ලබන්න උදව් කරනවා. සමහරු සම්මාන එහෙම ගන්න. ඔබේ ආයතනයේ හැම තට්ටුවකම රැස් පහක් කටවහන්න නැහැ කිව්වට ලෝකේ ගන්න පුළුවන් ලොකුම සම්මාන ටික ජාත්‍යන්තර මට්ටමේ සම්මාන එහෙමත් හම්බ වෙලා තියෙනවා. ආයි සම්මාන අරගෙන ඒවා වෙළඳපොළට මේකකවත් ඔබ අපිට කියලා නැහැ. මේවා දාලා දෙන්න කොහොම හරි ඇඩ් එකක් විදිහට දාමු අපි කියලා ඔබේ කාර්ය මණ්ඩලේ කවුරුත් එහෙම අපිට කරදර කරෙත් නැහැ. මේ දෙන්න හදන දේ දෙවියන්ගේ පණිවිඩය ඔබ විශ්වාස කරනවා කියන එක අපිට දැනෙනවා. ඔබ දෙවියොත් එක්ක බිස්නස් කරනවාද මේ? මොකද්ද මේ දෙවියෝ අපිට දීපු පණිවිඩය? ඇයි මේ දෙන එක සමහරු බොරුවට දෙන්නේ? ඒක ව්‍යාපාරික ලාභ ලබන්න දෙන්නේ? දීම හින්දා නැති වෙන්නේ නැද්ද?
There are two sides to that. Firstly, the person who is sweeping the streets at the Vihara Mahadevi Park is working harder than me because they are sweating. So hard work is not an assurance of success. For us, success is not an entitlement, it's a blessing. And when you are blessed in some way, to get more blessings, you must share. You cannot hold the blessing. You must share and give freely. We believe that the more you give, the more you receive. But this is not the reason. When you are blessed, you must share, because blessing comes with that requirement. But also, in my father's life, he came from Nigambo, and from a very lower middle class family. My grandfather had died before some time ago, but when I was small, my grandmother was there. They had a small room, and they were people with very pure hearts. They would pray about everything. So my father also prayed about everything. Whenever he was in difficulty, he prayed, and he believes, he knows that there was a blessing, there were so many miracles. 20-year-old boy from Pallansena, no money in the family. How does he get to go to London? The first group of people to go to London to be taught tea. This and every other thing to us, so many other miracles in his life. So I think there are two aspects to it. Not that we are in partnership, but in my father's journey, faith played a huge role. Faith means something simple. It's not about religion, it's not about going to church or going to temple or whatever. It's about faith in God, that God will take you through the difficult situations, and faith and continuing, but doing a good thing, never doing a bad thing. Because sometimes people say, okay, I will go to church on Sunday, but on Monday I will thrash my workers. You can't do that. You have to live according to a principle of being good. And my father, commitment, passion, purpose, most importantly was faith. And that got him through many situations. So today, my grandmother's philosophy, my father's mother's philosophy was, whatever you get, you must share. So when he was small, she would share everything, and there was nothing much in the house to share, but still she would share. So that principle went into his head. Our children, my brothers and my children, they have also understood, because they have seen what we do, and they have seen that there is a purpose to business. It's not to collect money in the bank, it's to be able to share, and your success, you must express it in the lives of people. How many people have you been able to help today? How many people have you helped this year? That is your measure of success, and then the rest of it will be added unto you.
මේ රෝල බැලන්ස් කරගන්න බැරුව රෝලත් එක්කම ඇඹරලා ගිය කට්ටිය ඉන්න අපේ ව්‍යාපාරිකයන් නිතර කතා මේ රෝල පොඩ්ඩක් අප්සෙට් ගියා පහුගිය කාලේ කොවිඩ් හින්දා වගේ එහෙම කියලා. ණය කළමනාකරණය කොහොමද ෆයිනෑන්ෂියල් බැලන්සින් ගැන ඔබ එංගලන්තයේ උපාධියක් ලබනකොට අනිවාර්යෙන් කොහොමද ක්‍රෙඩිට් ලයින් එක මේන්ටේන් කරන්න කියන එක ඉගෙන ගන්න ඇති. අපේ අය ප්‍රැක්ටිස් එකෙන් දන්නවා. නැත්නම් හරියටම ආදායම් වියදම ගණන් හදා ගන්න බැරුව අනාථ වෙනවා කියලා කියන මිනිස්සු ඉන්නවා. මේ ව්‍යාපාරික භාෂාව නිතර පාවිච්චි කරන අලුතෙන් බිස්නස් පටන් ගන්න කට්ටිය ණය ගන්න එක. සමහර කෙනා ණය ගන්න නම් එපා, ජීවිතේ ඉවරයි කියලා. කොහොමද ව්‍යාපාර ලෝකයේ ඔබගේ උපාධියෙන් අපිට දැනුම දෙන්න, ඔබගේ එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් එකෙන් අපිට දැනුම දෙන්න, ඔබගේ පියාගේ පසුබිමෙන් අපිට දැනුම දෙන්න. කොහොමද අලුතෙන් එන ව්‍යාපාරිකයෝ ණය කළමනාකරණය කරගන්න ඕනේ?
Loans are important. They're critical. But the important thing is how you manage it. So first of all, when you go to a bank, there's no point saying, I'm thinking of doing business. I want some money. You won't get your money. Or you'll have a crazy interest rate and it won't work. But if you go to a bank and say, look, this is my idea, this is my product, this is how I'm going to sell it. If you have a proper plan, comprehensive plan, and if you make your plan realistic, remember you're not going to start exporting containers to New York in overnight. Make your plan realistic. Start in Colombo, go to Kandy, say I'm going to start in this street. This is a thing, something that people look at and say, they want to be like Elon Musk or they want to be like Bill Gates. You can't do that. Start with one cafe. Start by selling to one street. My father started by selling small packs of tea from the back of his Morris Minor. So that's where you need to start. Then you acquire, but then have a strong principle of saving. Once you save, you start repaying the loans. You build the confidence of the bank that this is a woman or a man that I can support. Because when the bank has that confidence, of course they want to give because they want more success stories. So in my father's journey, he had to always rely on the bank, but the bank trusted him because they knew the minute he can pay, sometimes before the loan is due, he will pay. So they knew that he was an honest man. But also they knew he had a vision. They knew that he had commitment and that he was going to work hard. So with this combination, you are complying with all the requirements of a bank, because a bank is there it's a lending institution, no? So they want to find people to lend. But if you are not prepared and if you are not properly planned, then you have a problem. This is my advice. You need the money, but when you plan, you can understand. So, simple example. When my father started selling tea, he knew that there is no future to sell tea in bulk. Many of his friends and colleagues didn't understand that. But when he started selling tea in branded form, when he started Dilmah, people said, look, you're mad, you're stupid. You think you can compete against these big companies from Europe? He said, yes, I can. One day I'm going to compete. And he did. But the point is, he knew, okay, when you do your planning, you may take your bank loan. This is your interest rate. You're not, you might as well put the money in the bank and stay at home and, read the newspaper. But he knew that if he adds value, if he does branding, and if he does this, that he will be able to build a business, keep the bank happy, and grow the business, eventually share. So I think like this, have a plan. Keep it realistic and practical. Don't worry about going to the moon first. Start on earth, start in your street, step by step, and you get there.
ඔබ දවසේ ඉතා ප්‍රබෝධමත්ව පටන් ගන්නවා. ඔබට දවසේ හැමතිස්සෙම එකම ප්‍රබෝධයෙන් ඉන්න වෙනවා. මොකද එකක් ඔබ බලාගෙන ඉන්න කට්ටිය ඉන්නවා. ජාත්‍යන්තරව ඔබ බලා ඉන්නවා. ඔබේ කොටස ඔබේ දේ බලාගෙන ඉගෙන ගන්න අද මේ මොහොතෙත් ඉන්නවා. ඔබ වෙනුවෙන් ඔබ කියන වචනයක් කරන ජීවිතය වෙනස් කරගන්න හුඟ දෙනෙක් ඉඳී අප මේක බලන එකත් එක්ක හෙට එහෙම නැත්නම් තව අවුරුදු 5කින් ඔබට මම ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා මේ බලන කට්ටිය කවුරුන් හෝ ඇවිල්ලා එදා ඔබ කියපු වචනය අහලායි මම පළවෙනි පීවර තිබුවේ කියන එක. ඒක තමයි අපේ මේ ගුවන් කාලට දෙවියෝ දෙන සාධාරණේ. අපි පෞද්ගලික ජීවිතේ ඔබට මොනවද අඩු දැන්?
I think the most important thing for us also is to be content. I don't say always happy. Happy is good, but you have to be content. In my discussion today, this morning with some other entrepreneurs also, I was telling you, I told them, you should not complain about your circumstances. You can say, yes, the wages have gone up, this is bad, that is bad. Instead, you look at it and think and say, how am I going to make this work? So I think in the same way, if you find a way to be content, don't see yourself as something you are not. I know I am not my father, I am not some great industrialist, I am not some great international businessman, I am me. And who are you? You are your family, you are your friends, and now after the pandemic, we realize the value of things that we didn't value before. So I think we need to all understand, I am not my car, I am not the quality of the shirt I wear, I am not however good my watch is. This is contentment. And this is something you realize. I'm not saying I was like this all the time. Maybe when I was younger, I was very different. But it is this that creates dissatisfaction. When you constantly, if you ask me, I can tell you 100 things that maybe one day would be nice, would be really nice to have. But maybe I can't afford it. It's not necessary. I like to have one of the fantastic cameras. I like to have a fantastic car. But, is it necessary? This is what we learned during the pandemic. So my request to your viewers is always understand the importance of being content. Being content with your parents, with your partner, your family, your children, being content with your home. Remember, when you are living I have a farm near Ambilipitia, very small village. And near me, there is a house, a mud hut. Nice family. They are producing quail eggs. And we have a shop in our farm, so the old lady, she comes and she sells the quail eggs. Now, her son is very unhappy. I want a house like this chap. But when my guests come, they want to go and visit this. They say, this is natural. This is the most ecologically sustainable. It's cool inside. It's a beautiful home. You look at it, there are quails, there is beautiful nature. They always want to visit it. So it's a question of perspective. So when you ask, what do you need? I think you need contentment, because this gives you peace. And peace gives you the possibility to be creative, to begin to build. And I think when you we talked about humility before. So to be humble, you have to also be comfortable with who you are. And who you are is not who somebody else is. That I think somebody much smarter than me, they say, be yourself because everybody else is taken. I can't try to be Elon Musk or Meryl J. Fernando or Sir Thomas Lipton. No, I'm me. So I do my best and should be content. I'm sorry, it's a long answer.
No, but perfect, because you can learn a lot out of that. Dilhan, පෞද්ගලික ජීවිතේ ඔබගේ හිත ඔබ කැමති නම් මේ මම කතා කරන්නේ පෞද්ගලික ජීවිතේ ඔබට පුළුවන් ව්‍යාපාරික ලෝකෙත් එකතු කරන්න. දුක් විඳලා තියෙනවද ඔබ? අපිට එළියෙන් බැලුවම හිතෙන්නේ ලෝකයේ තේ අධිකාරියේ ඔහුගේ පියා කියන විදිහට තව අවුරුදු 3මාරකින් ඒ කාලේ කිව්වේ 5කින් කියලා දැන් ගණන් හදලා බලුවම 3මාරකින් ලෝකයේ අංක 1 තේ නිෂ්පාදකයා බවට පත් වෙනවා දැනට ඔබ 2 හෝ 2මාර මැත්තේ ඉන්නවා කියලා කියන්නේ ලෝක මට්ටමේදී එයාගේ ලොකු පුතා එයා දුක් විඳින්නේ නැහැ නේ යට සල්ලි තියෙනවා ඒගොල්ලන්ට ඉගෙන ගන්න පුළුවන් ලෝකේ මොනවද ඉල්ලන්නේ හැමදේම ගන්න පුළුවන් නම දන්නවා ඉගෙනගෙන තියෙනවා හැමදේම තියෙනවා ඔබ දුක් විඳලා තියෙනවද ඔබේ ජීවිතේ
Every day it's difficult. I don't say that I am in a miserable situation, no. But every day it's a challenge, particularly now. And I think it's the same for every entrepreneur. So I'm not alone. Every day you wake up thinking what new problem will happen. But then again, if you have that attitude of positivity, you can overcome it. For us, our faith is a big part of it, like for my father. And so I think one of the ways in which you can get past this challenge is to also understand who you are. Because on your previous question, if you are comfortable with who you are, then you will not be always aspiring to be something else. This creates the greatest misery of all, because you are always comparing yourself with somebody else. I have friends who can buy everything I have with their pocket money. But this is okay. It's not a problem because I have what I have and I'm happy. So I think it's important to frame it like this. Yes, difficult times. But if you sit back and say, oh my gosh, the world is ending, I'm in a difficult, then you will create your difficult time. Or if you look, there are some people who are so happy. I try to learn from them. And they say, yes, we've got a challenge, but we'll find our way through it. This is what I want to be. So yes, difficulty every day. And the bigger the business becomes, the bigger the difficulty. Because all of these people, they depend, they look at you and they say, look, we need you to help us. We need our salaries. We need bonuses. We need our family is relying on you. But outside circumstances are very, very difficult. But you have to look at it positively.
ව්‍යාපාර කරගෙන යනකොට අපිට විශේෂයෙන්ම ලංකාවේ වැඩ කරන කට්ටිය කියන්නේ දෙවනියෙක් නම් හදන්න එපා. නැත්නම් ළඟම හිටපු එකා තමයි අපේ හොරකම් කරේ. ওই භාෂාවෙන් තමයි අපිට හුඟක් දෙන්නලා තියෙන්නේ. ළඟ ඉන්න කට්ටිය විශ්වාස කරන්න එපා. කියලා මිනිස්සු උදව් කරපු මිනිස්සුම තමයි බලපුවාම අනිත් පැත්තෙන් ගිහිලා තමන්ගේ කම්පිටිටිව් ප්‍රොඩක්ට්ස් වලට උදව් කරලා තියෙන්නේ. නැත්නම් රහස් එළියට දීලා තියෙන්නේ. හතුරුකම් කරලා තියෙන්නේ කියලා. ඔබට ලංකාවේ මිනිස්සු රිදවලා නැද්ද?
Many staff, many people who have taken business and gone. But again, what my father taught me, wish them well. Because if you wish them bad, then you become angry, you become upset. So it's okay.
මෙම වැඩසටහනේ ඉතිරි කොටස ලබන සෙනසුරාදා SL TV ඔස්සේ බලාපොරොත්තු වන්න. SL TV එකතු වෙමු, වෙනස් වෙමු, අලුත් වෙමු.